No, according to Andrew Tate, if you have monogamous sex, that means you're gay.
What? Who in their right mind is defending this man? Andrew Tate's eyeballs. Have you ever noticed how they look like not only are they bugging out of his head, but they're also going in like two different directions at once? He makes me think of that like squeeze toy where the eyeballs are like...
Apparently I was a bot for about 36 hours, guys. I must have been like in the Matrix. I was plugged in, like re-plugged in, and now I'm unplugged again.
Okay.
So Andrew Tate just, verbal diarrhea, as always.
I'm still just picturing his eyeballs bugging from his head.
It's one of those tests that doesn't matter as much as people pretend it does. That's the first thing. The first thing that somebody who wants to pretend that they're smarter than you brings up is their IQ score, because they're not actually intelligent, but they did really well on an IQ test that they found on the internet. Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. I'm Andrew. This is Nona. And apparently, Nona, did you know that I'm gay?
What?
I knew that would get you. No, according to Andrew Tate, if you have monogamous sex, that means you're gay.
Oh, yeah. We talked about this last year.
Yeah. So.
More taintisms? That's what we're talking about today?
My hair looks all crazy on here. Looks like I'm going bald. Yeah. Because Andrew Tate and his brother have come to the U.S.
Tristan, is that right?
I think so.
Okay.
Cobra Tate.
Ew, what?
That's his X handle, Cobra Tate. Yeah.
I have no words.
I don't either. So yeah, their travel ban was lifted, and as soon
as why was it lifted?
Okay, yeah, I don't know, but as soon as it happened, the first thing that came to my mind is if they come to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
or if it's allowed, because it was allowed by the U.S. I figured it was a trap, or I was hoping it would be a trap.
Okay, that they would just be waiting for them at the airport or wherever they were planning on. I assume they flew private.
Everybody was like, why was their ban lifted? Why was their ban lifted? It shouldn't have been lifted. They shouldn't be allowed to come here. No, so here's the thing, right? If you're accused of or have committed some sort of crime, both in the U.S. or something that the U.S. can enforce or litigate or whatever,
okay,
especially if it was criminal, they would have to go through the extradition process and have you brought back over, or
just lift the ban and wait for them to come themselves and be dumb.
Yep. So now they're in Florida, and I have it on good authority that the Florida DA and other entities within Florida law enforcement agencies are putting together a very sound case.
Good.
One of the things that is really going to bite them is the fact that one of the victims was in and lives currently in Florida.
Oh.
So it's a crime that happened in the state. So it can be enforced.
Were they underage?
I actually don't know any specifics about that victim. And I don't know if it's been posted publicly because, of course, protecting the victim and stuff like that. Right. So, but from what I know from John Cardillo, who immediately, I didn't expect him to text me. I thought he was just going to respond to the X post, but he texted me immediately after, and he's like, "No, it's a thing. This isn't like hypothetical." But the biggest problem that I think pretty much everybody has with him is that there are people that genuinely, on the right specifically, which makes it mind-numbing and worse than anything, is that they're actually acting like he's being persecuted.
What?
Yeah.
Who in their right mind is defending this man?
Apparently, I haven't seen it myself, but I've seen enough people talking about it that one of two things could be happening here, right? Either they're all echoing the same thing, like somebody sees somebody complaining about it, so they complain about it because they think that. I don't think that's the case here, right? But I'm sure there are people that are defending him. Yeah, it's insane.
I have no words.
Yeah. So John has been very vocal. I'd probably see it like in my feed. You know, people talk about how ads on Facebook and Instagram, it's like
tailored to you?
No, like every 2 or 3 posts.
Oh, okay.
That's about the frequency that I see John's posts about Andrew Tate.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And that's not sliding against John. I'm just saying like the volume of information and the frequency of the information is crazy. And
you know what's crazy? Andrew Tate's eyeballs. Have you ever noticed how they look like not only are they bugging out of his head, but they're also going in like two different directions at once? He makes me think of that like squeeze toy where the eyeballs are like,
Oh, like Cash has.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Those are, yeah.
that's what he looks like. So just, of course, that's what he looks like. And that is his personality.
Somebody just grabbed him on the torso and was like,
Yes.
that's hilarious.
Yes.
That's funny.
That's what he looks like.
So I'm going to pull, since I'm back on X again,
Oh, you
my
got
my
your
account was unlocked. Yep.
good job.
Yeah, because I was a bot. Apparently, I was a bot for about 36 hours, guys. I must have been like in the Matrix. I was plugged in, like replugged in, and now I'm unplugged again. So I'm back on X as a person rather than a
If
robot.
you guys understand what he's talking about,
They do
then-
the movie. When you're plugged in, you're living in the simulation. When you're unplugged, you're living as a human.
blah blah.
So
blah.
I had to.
Stop talking about your bot life.
That's everybody's like, I've never seen Andrew and a robot in the same room.
Ah!
I said that during that time they rebuilt me as a flesh mech. I'm actually a robot living in a human body. Anyways, talking about Andrew Tate. I'm trying to see here real quick if I can. By the way, guys, if you're familiar with Grimesy News, who just blew up. I mean, he was already exploding on TikTok, but Elon reposted one of his videos and he's coming on Sunday. So amazing timing there for us. Like to actually be at the forefront of somebody's account exploding like that for very well researched, but very funny videos. He does a lot of research. He actually puts in the work. So you can watch it in an educational, but also really funny way. Talking about stuffing politicians in the trunk.
Cute.
His videos are awesome. Let's see here. Yeah. So I said, how long do you think he'll last? This is in response to something that John posted. Andrew Tate is mad at DeSantis talking about how he let the feds raid Mar-a-Lago, where
Okay.
governor has no authority over federal
Right.
law enforcement. There was nothing he could do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sorry you don't agree with the fact that that's how the law is, but when you're in a country or state or any municipality, any level of government, you're expected to adhere to the laws there. It's like what's the thing police like to say? Like ignorance isn't an excuse or whatever. For example, if you're like speeding, but you don't know that like in that town, any unmarked road is 35 or whatever.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah. They say that you're supposed to research it. You're supposed to know, if you need a different kind of license. Same thing for concealed carry. You go to another state, the expectation is that you research the laws of that state to know what you are and are not allowed to do.
Okay.
So Andrew Tate just, verbal diarrhea as always.
It's clear delusion.
Yeah. But I said, how long do you think it'll last? I feel like he was allowed to come here so that they can eventually charge him. And then John responded with, I don't know how long it'll last, but I know the AG is a very careful, methodical, I know the AG and he's a very careful, methodical, and professional guy. He's driven by justice, not politics. So, and then he texted me and said that, the case is going to be pretty compelling and pretty sound.
So what would happen if Mr. Taint hops on his private jet and flies back to Romania?
I'm sure at this point, they could block him because you still have to go through customs if you try to leave the country.
Okay.
So, I mean, what's he going to do?
I don't know.
And
I do not follow this guy. I have no interest in watching what he does.
They can sanction and restrict him it would be illegal for the pilots to even take off. Like there's a lot of things that you could do. Obviously, they haven't done that yet because they haven't charged him. But if he wants to accelerate the pace of this, he could try.
I'm still just picturing his eyeballs bugging from his head.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the thing about. So John's been asking one of the guys who's trying to run for governor. I believe he's a senator. Maybe he's in some office in Congress representing Florida.
Okay.
Byron Donalds, and he's asking, what he thinks of Andrew Tate, if he supports him or not. And so apparently there's a video, and I haven't seen this yet, of Andrew Tate admitting to underage acts himself with somebody underage. I'm trying to bounce around the demonetization words here. So there's video evidence of him admitting it. There's video of him abusing women with belts. So he's asking, you know, are you supporting these morally bankrupt people? To which, of course, even though John has a huge account, they're not going to respond. And even if they do, they're going to respond in some political...
No comment.
Yeah. Well, not even no comment. Politicians these days can't do that. They refuse. They have to say something. They're like, there's something about their false safety that makes them feel like they have to say something. Like they just have to. And then they'll have their PR team be like, that's not what he meant, or that's not what she meant. What they really meant was this. It was a Freudian slip. Or, you know, to politicians, words don't matter. They just, whatever pops into my head is what I'm going to say.
So basically, you're saying they're synonymous with Andrew Tate and his verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he is, I mean, there's tons of stuff on here. And I see people periodically, you know, posting, making fun of him basically all the time, you know, every which way. I've never actually seen, like I said, I've never seen anybody support him. Somebody responding to John has their IQ score and their name on X. their height and their IQ score.
Are they like 5'7"?
Says 6'2", IQ 187. I don't think this.
Yeah,
I don't think it goes that.
7.
I don't think IQ goes to 180s. Doesn't it go to like 160?
My IQ is obviously too low to know what an IQ score tops out at.
It's one of those tests that doesn't matter as much as people pretend it does. That's the first thing. The first thing that somebody who wants to pretend that they're smarter than you brings up is their IQ score, because they're not actually intelligent, but they did really well on an IQ test that they found on the internet.
Have you ever taken an IQ test?
We did one time when I was in Korea. I don't remember why. It was like everyone just, it was a curiosity thing. There was no, like,
Gotcha.
nobody was upset
You
or
were
anything.
bored.
Yeah.
Had
yeah.
nothing else to do.
Yeah.
It was either that or Juicy Girls.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
When we're sitting in our office. I actually think it wasn't just the medics. I think a couple other, I believe there was 3 of us at that time. It was myself.
What was your score?
I don't remember. I had the highest of the medics though.
I
think I had the highest. I think
because
I had the
you're
highest.
a robot.
Yeah. I think I had the highest of everyone who took it, with maybe one exception. We had one of the MPs who was injured and then ended up becoming our Seaburn NCO and armor and NC, one of the two. Very well educated, probably could have taken the officer path or something like that. But there's people in the military who will tell you that they don't want to be an officer because they want to actually work, or they want to be, you know, true leaders. They don't just want the paycheck or whatever. Sometimes you just have to kind of look at that and laugh. Like, why wouldn't you just want to better your life? Like, why wouldn't you want to
Why didn't you go down the officer path?
I got the letters all the way up until I turned 21 from the commandant from West Point. Because I think 21 is or was the cutoff.
Yeah, why didn't you ever do it?
Just, I didn't have any interest. I didn't think I was going to go that route, and I didn't want an additional.
Just imagine the path that your life would have completely turned had you gone down that.
So let's think about this for a second. If I would have taken that.
First of all, we would have never met.
Yeah. If I would have taken that before 21, I'm 37 now, so I would have been out by now.
You'd be retired already.
No, not retired.
Oh.
I mean, maybe medically, but.
Okay. What's the difference between retired and out?
ETS. So retirement requires one of 2 things. Medical retirement requires you to be med boarded for some sort of injury, so that, you know, if basically forced you to not be able to complete any job in the military, and that happened in the line of duty. So somebody gets like a leg blown off or something like that, right?
Gotcha. Oh, I thought it was an X amount of years.
No, that's what I'm saying. So there's one of 2 things: either medical retirement due to injury, illness, something like that, cancer, whatever, or you reach the 20-year mark on active duty. For reserves and guard, I believe it's 30. But then there's also mixed
30.
service. Yeah.
I was thinking you joined at 18 or 19.
Right after I turned 19, shortly after I turned 19.
Oh, okay. So no, you would be 2 years away from your 20-year retirement.
Yeah.
Then. Gotcha.
So 20 years if I had stayed on active duty, but I mean, that was the worst unit anybody could have ever been in. So I already knew that I was getting out. That was Yeah.
Right. But obviously, Korea and West Point are not the same thing.
But you always know that at some point
You
you're
could
going to.
potentially be in a bad unit again, and you power through it for 3 to 6 years or whatever the time frame is, and then you move on to the next.
Maybe.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
Anyways, do you have anything more to talk about Andrew Tate?
I don't know. I think and I hope that, obviously that he gets arrested.
got.
Yeah. But of course,
You've jinxed it.
as all rich people do, he has an army of
You're going to fly
corrupt
away into the
attorneys.
sunset.
corrupt attorneys, lawyers, people representing him, which apparently, and I haven't seen this because I don't know who they are, apparently his attorneys have been shit posting all over the place too.
Oh.
So
The only thing that I could see happening is like the victims being paid off and silenced.
even if that were to happen,
And like
that's actually a whole nother law.
tampering.
Yeah, that's a whole nother law that they'd be. I mean, I can't say his name because I don't want this to be demonetized. But the current president, the hush money thing.
Right.
So even if you sign a piece of paper that says, I'll talk about it, and you accept the money as part of that, you can still. There are still pathways because it's still illegal. You might have some sort of contractual breach, repercussions, something along those lines. But what happens to the other person that coerced you into doing that is going to be far worse than what happens to you.
And speaking of witness tampering, you do have an update.
Yeah.
Regarding the Mike Glover situation from May of last year.
So Kay, when he was combing back over all of the information from last year, found charges against Greg Lappin, who's the current Fieldcraft CEO, appointed by Mike.
Right.
Who we presumed previously, and I do believe he had, that Evan had contacted Jessica, which is probably true, but the person that they recorded Mike talking to was Greg. Yeah.
Who was boldly making statements.
Yep. Stating that he spoke with her multiple times, how he told her to drop the charge. Like,
straight up harassment.
yeah. And so he was charged with a felony for that. Who knows how that has played out, but yeah.
That's wild to me.
Yep.
All these people with felonies and misdemeanors and still in appointed roles is just wild to me. People are still looking up.
Well, so what makes it even worse?
Glorifying these human beings.
What makes it even worse is that he's a retired police officer.
Yes.
So he knows better.
Literally the worst.
Yeah. But yeah, I tagged him on every platform I possibly could, both Fieldcraft and
no
Greg
response.
himself. Yeah, of course he's not going to respond, but I know he's seen it. So now, and I don't know, I didn't know Rob that well because I've never actually met him in person.
Who's Rob?
Rob Parsons, who was the chief marketing officer when I was.
Oh, right. Who's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he and Ricky obviously only knew like from calls.
Right.
Rob was always like running around, putting out fires, probably doing more than the CMO should do, at least in the CMO role.
Okay.
Obviously a small, large organization like that probably has, multiple hats that he wears, but official title to one. But I have to believe, and obviously not going to put them in a situation where they actually have to answer this question, but I believe that they left because of that. I know that Ricky was already looking for something else, and I think I mentioned that previously. She had left and then came back. But yeah, Rob said he's gone completely. So who knows? Ricky's a very outdoorsy person, so that's kind of what attracted her to the company. She wanted to do all the outdoorsy reviews and things like that.
Gotcha.
There were some projects that they were working on because they do like I watch tech reviews and stuff. They were doing similar kind of things, but with like outdoor gear, tents,
Gotcha.
vehicle attachments and lift kits and, off-roading equipment and gear and
Only she
hiking.
figured out very quickly that the people she was working for were total shitbags.
I don't know about very quickly because she had been there for a while. So maybe she did find out very quickly and just was like, this is my paycheck and it's one of the best opportunities that I can get right now or in this place. So yeah, the whole Fieldcraft situation is nuts.
So the other person that you wanted to talk about was Miss Casey Anthony coming back onto social media after years and years of being completely silent.
As an LGBTQ advocate, apparently, is what she's calling herself.
And a court advocate since 2011, using her expertise from her fucking trial of murdering her child.
So consultant or not advocate.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And there are over 50,000 followers on TikTok now
really?
for her. And I want to say, if you are currently following Casey Anthony, please reevaluate your humanity.
Her daughter's Wikipedia entry was updated 7 hours ago. I wonder what that was. Let's see here. I Googled her, so I'm normally, TikTok and YouTube will pop up right away, but this is straight up just news articles. It's Fox News.
So we talked about her a
snippets.
little bit last year when she started dating a married man.
Mm-hmm.
The married man left his wife and she moved in with the married man.
I forgot about that. I remember talking
Murfreesboro,
about her,
Tennessee is where I believe they live now. And they had met like in Florida or something like that. Like, what the fuck? Just a horrible human being in general.
Yeah.
Murder your kid, take a married man.
No, you're right. Legal advocate.
Be a legal advocate, showing off your expertise from getting away with murder.
She also joined Substack to advocate for herself, her daughter.
Yes. Wild.
Why would she still need to advocate for her daughter?
Wild.
That she killed.
Because again, apparently she's advocating of how to get away with murder.
So, okay, I finally, no, this is, wait. That's TMZ, never mind. It says...
And she only hopped on the LGBTQIA train because she's trying to tap into that market. Like, what? No.
I can't actually find... I wonder if they've kept her account from indexing, because I even typed in Casey Anthony TikTok in Google, and other TikTok accounts like TMZ come up. She deleted it already.
She deleted it already. We're recording this Wednesday. I'm not on TikTok. Please update us if she has deleted it a whole, 5 days after creating?
Something like that. Reddit. Yeah.
I mean, the whole world called her out. Like, what the fuck? So it's possible that she's deleted it already.
Yeah, I mean, there's news articles popping up from hours and minutes ago and days ago, all talking about this. Basically, every news organization in the world, and now us, because we are the premier news agency on YouTube.
Yes.
And Substack.
So speedy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Legal advocate. So an advocate is somebody who helps you
get away with murder.
No, that's a consultant.
I'm just gonna keep saying that because we all know that's what she did.
An advocate is somebody who can appeal to the court to help you get proper counsel. So you can advocate for somebody to have an attorney.
If somebody is dumb enough to hire Casey Anthony, they are willingly having their case tossed straight into the trash because, oh my God, she is trash.
So there's a news bundle consolidation thing called Ground News, and I think there's another one that they sponsor. I know there's another one, I just don't know the name of it. They sponsor a bunch of YouTubers that I watch periodically, and they always talk about how you can read the articles from various different left, right, and center, and it'll tell you kind of what their biases are and who owns them and everything like that.
Okay, that was a lot to follow, but okay.
It's Fox News is clearly right. CNN is clearly left. What can you glean from the information from the two articles to find the actual story? Yeah, right.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that I enjoy doing is reading the headlines to see what people are trying to do, both to get clicks, but also to enrage people enough to get clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Are they writing the headline as if it's positive, and then once you get in the article...
Speaking of, We need to talk about the experiment that you did.
Oh, yeah.
We still didn't follow up. The negatives far surpassed the positive by over 500 views.
So hold on. There's more metrics than that. Do we want to finish talking about Caylee? and
No,
just
that
move
was
on to
enough
that?
about her. She's
right.
complete trash.
Caylee,
That was
you
the
suck.
end. Yeah. And we all know that you murdered your daughter.
Yeah. So let's see here. Videos. All right. On the poll,
Yeah.
both on X and
Everybody voted for positive,
and
right?
on YouTube. Yeah, not everybody. Overwhelmingly, people voted for positive.
What
And
was
then-
the percentage for negative?
Like 30 maybe.
Damn, okay. I didn't think it was going to be that high.
But people that responded said that they voted negative because they felt that the negative was positive.
What?
It's
I don't get it.
getting the information out there for people to make their own decisions.
Okay.
So the way that they answered it viewed it as it's not
It's sharing the truth.
It's not how you spin the information, it's how the information is used after the fact. Does that make sense?
Like sharing the truth, and
Yeah.
the truth might not be a positive thing.
Right.
Okay.
So the Nice List episode, this is specifically on YouTube. I'm
Right.
not pulling up
Right.
Spotify and everything else. Specifically on YouTube, the Nice List got 1.7 thousand views and the Naughty List got 2.2 thousand views roughly. I'm not going to expand them
Right.
out.
So
And
500 difference.
And here's the other thing. The Naughty List also got more likes. They had 39 likes versus 32 for the Nice List.
Mm-hmm.
And the Naughty List had more comments, 46 compared to 20 on the Nice List.
Yep. It's almost double.
Yep. So people engaged with it more.
Mm-hmm.
People liked it more.
And they were like the exact same length.
Yep.
We talked about the same amount of people.
They're 1 minute and 10 second difference.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, the first thing on Reddit that people were talking about when I put up the link previews and stuff was that Matt Carricker is not a vet.
Mm-hmm.
And
But then you let them know that he was a vet, as in a veterinarian.
So very carefully, the Naughty List, exposing the biggest veteran grifters was the title. The Nice List, the best of the vet community was the title.
Vet, short for veterinarian.
Yep.
Cute.
So it matters. Words matter. I'm a wordsmith.
Cute. Speaking of wordsmith, before we sign off, Womp Womp Loser, I wanted to let you know that my 10-year-old daughter has turned your name into an insult. So instead of being a Karen, she's now calling people who she previously called Karens Womp Womp Losers. Don't be a Womp Womp Loser, guys.
He's an Ohio State fan, I found out.
Oh, cute. So he is a Womp Womp Loser. On that note,
He said something to the effect of like, oh, I saw the Michigan hoodie, go Buckeyes or something like that. And he did the X on the M, how the Ohio State fans do.
whatever. Anyways,
we're not even at time yet.
yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Don't. We're already signing off.
Not yet.
What?
Yeah.
What else are we talking about?
There was something else about those two episodes that I wanted to talk about. And now, somebody took issue, and I might have read the comment wrong.
Okay.
I don't remember which. It wasn't on YouTube, I don't believe. Somebody commented somewhere, or maybe it was on a post and on the video. Like something along the lines of Reaper 33, Nick Irving. It was like, I hope he's not on the Nice List or something like that.
What?
And then when I asked why, never got a response.
Like, what do you have against Reaper 33?
Yeah. But what I'm assuming, everybody I communicate with on X that doesn't like me immediately jumps to the fact that I committed war crimes because I was in the army and how they hope I die from my PTSD. So that's what I'm going to assume, is that it's somebody who just doesn't like him because he served or
Wow.
because of his opinions, because he's pretty, I don't know if he's ever come out and explicitly said, what his political beliefs are, but you can glean it from him being upset about like the Epstein files and how that's turned into a dog and pony show, and among other things, right? Like he's he definitely seems to be conservative. So he's probably more like libertarian, like central voting, but with obviously he's pro 2A, et cetera, et cetera.
Why don't you let him speak for himself?
I can. We can have him back on. I'll text him and ask him. And somebody else got mad. They're like, how much did you pay Nick? There's no way he would ever associate himself with you guys. We didn't pay him anything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Rude.
He wanted to come on the show. I have his phone number.
That was so rude.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I went back to look for that comment, I couldn't find.
They deleted it?
I don't know. I couldn't find where it was. So it had a remark in it that got flagged by YouTube. So it went into the hidden comments. So you have to like, the steps on Facebook when something gets covered.
Unhide or show that it's not vulgar or whatever.
And then from there I can approve it so that's what I do. I want people to see how
lame you guys are.
Yeah. And so I went back to look for it. I thought it was on the graphic. Because it just says post. It doesn't actually show you. So when it's a video, if somebody comments on a video, it shows you the thumbnail of the video.
Okay.
But when it's a post, it's just a little black bar that says post. So it could have gone anywhere. And when I searched for the username, nothing came up, even though there was a recent comment right visible on my screen as I typed the name.
Yeah, they probably had deleted it.
The whole YouTube comment system sucks. It's trash. So you know how like if you get back and forth with somebody in a thread, like on Facebook or X or anywhere else, you get a notification that they responded or they tagged you. After the initial comment, there's no notifications on YouTube. Gotcha. You have to actively go back and look. It sucks. Which I mean, in some ways is nice because then I'm not getting my notifications aren't getting blown up.
But it's time consuming.
Yeah, but I do miss things that I do want to see a response on. So
kind of like our romance scam lady. You went looking for that to see if there was a follow up, and all of a sudden her stuff was.
She did. She said, "I have my reasons," and then
and then there was no. It was silence from her.
So if you guys don't know from previous video, watch the romance scam video because we talk about her on there. And maybe that's why she went back there and deleted all of them because she didn't want to whatever. But she was being romance scammed by somebody pretending to be Glover, or that she was convinced
was Mike Glover, right?
Which by the username didn't imply that it was Mike,
right?
But they still could have said I'm using like an alternate account or something,
right? We
won't see those interactions. So I wonder if there's a way to. No, they wouldn't allow you to do that. I wondered if there was a way to like search using YouTube's API for all of those users' comments across all of YouTube. There might be a way to do it. But it'd probably be a pain.
But y'all are crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. This episode is coming out right after we record it. I mean, within like 12 hours. It's not going to go edit it.
Yay!
Thanks so much for watching. Go back and watch, if you haven't already, was it Monday's episode or Tuesday's episode?
For which one?
The updates with Jesse, and that was yesterday.
That was Tuesday's episode.
Yeah. Go watch that. There's a lot of good information there. I think we talked about her in there as well. So go check it out. And if you guys, let me know if you like how we've been putting doofus or whatever of the week, the comment.
Who's going to be the doofus of the week for this one?
We'll see. I haven't looked yet.
I told you I want to know the doofus of the week.
So whoever you see right here at about this timestamp, congratulations. You're the winner of being the doofus of the week.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah.
For being special.
As Angry Cop says, POB.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Of course, the mouse is messing up again. We're going to leave that in. Bye.
Goodbye.